On this episode, I welcome you to Homosexuality 101 with the world's greatest gay. His name is Layne, and for him, it's hard not to be. However, his gayness has little to do with everything I love about him. We have a similar sense of humor. We both grew up in small towns. We care about the way we present ourselves. He was awkward with girls. He had a reason why. Layne is what my friends and I call good people, and I'm glad he's in my circle. We also talk about while straight people are getting stuck on second base, most gay hookups are inside the park home runs. Let's jump in. Hey everybody, welcome to a Moderately Good podcast. We got a great episode for you tonight. I'm really excited about our guest. Before we get started, all the regular stuff, Above Average Joe Media. He does all my cool pictures and videos. He's in the house sometimes. He's not in the house tonight to the disappointment of our guest, but that's another story.
That's true.
My guy Jason, he does all my audio. So when you're listening to this, that's why it sounds so great, is because Jason's skill set. And so he doesn't only do that kind of stuff. He works with bands and helps fine tune CDs, records, whatever they're producing these days, MP3, I don't even know, like whatever, however you get music now. When a band wants to put that out, Jason's the guy that fine tunes that up. So that is Wish Pocket, No Names Originals. That's my guy, Jaron. Support. He's not a local artist, but he is a local artist where he is at. And so he does a lot of custom clothing and like cool paintings and stuff like that. So help support that. And then last but not least, my guy Mo, he has a Go Bubble app that is the detailing service to your house. So just like everything else on the planet, you can get something else delivered, which is a car wash. And apparently they do a really good job. And if you use the code Go Moderately, you get some sort of discount.
You know the discount.
I don't know how much of a discount it is. You just get a discount. Oh, and if you like what I'm doing, and you want to share it with your friends, that's great. Oh, this is like the second time that's happened. Take that off. If you like it and you share it with your friends, right? Go ahead and subscribe. Like subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It just helps me out, and it really I mean, let's be honest. It's no, your life doesn't hardly change at all, other than you just get alerted that I have new shit.
Your life is enriched.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's life improvement strategies. So, before we started the podcast, my guest and I were talking about how we went to school. Well, he is also from a small town. We went to college together, but really didn't kind of know each other. And then as, life goes on and you maintain friends and stuff like that, our circles kept crossing until we became better friends. So everybody say hi to my guy, Layne. What's up, Layne?
What's up?
I mean,
crazy.
I'm just going to start. I'm just going to start with this teaser that me and Joe, that you've heard on the podcast before, we call Layne the world's greatest gay. And we can get into that later. But like I just want to go ahead and like get that like out of the way,
Yeah.
And you wrote it on your koozie, so I'm not.
Yeah, I don't even know how I got the title, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really quickly, throw out like all your socials and all your thingies that you do.
It's just at Layne Box, LAYNEBOX.
Mm-hmm.
That's every social media I have.
It's all at Layne Box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to see me shirtless or in underwear, that's my
go right
Instagram.
to Instagram.
There you go.
Yeah. There's something
People
for everybody
at work
there.
want to add me. I'm like, let's wait a couple months. Like,
you're like, I got to get to know you.
Can we know each other a little longer? Because one girl added me, and then she just started showing everybody, and my boss was sitting there. I was like, sorry, Sherry, you now have seen me in my underwear. Thank you. So, yeah.
So I want to kind of delete. Oh, by the way. Layne's boyfriend, is that okay if are y'all official?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that no way? I mean, well,
yes.
They're dating.
We've had the conversation. Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know. Like, I mean, they're dating. Elijah. Hey, say hi, Elijah.
Hello, everybody.
He's just kind of like hanging out and probably gonna learn way more about Layne than he ever wanted to know.
Wow.
So Yeah. Like, I mean, this is like a crash course in like Layne right
How
now.
to deal with me too.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh, so I want to start off with this. Um, when, I feel like you respect me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Like,
moderately.
just moderately. Like, and we joke with each other. I mean, like
Yeah.
we like, you know, like, I mean, give each other a hard time
Yeah.
and stuff like that or whatever, right? And me and you have had conversations about how, especially with like guys, sometimes like they don't get it.
Right.
I mean, I can think of one really specific conversation, but just that like, so I guess what I'm asking is, what did I do to earn that level of respect with you to be able to joke and joke around the way we do and not have it be, I don't say like not wrong, but just like
Offensive.
inappropriate or
Yeah.
offensive.
I think just in general, like whenever you're friends with anybody, you know, kind of like the level of what they're comfortable with, and I'm like, you've never said anything that offended me. I think this last time at the crawfish boil,
Yeah, we had there was a party.
yeah,
Yeah, there was an
and someone
event.
crossed the line, and
Yeah.
it was one I didn't know him, so the jokes that he was making would have been offensive either way, like if I knew him or not, but at the same time, had it been like you or Jared or someone like that, at least I would know automatically that it was coming from a joking spot, and then later I could be like, "Hey, that probably wasn't that cool, or it wasn't funny." But
So
um,
I mean, I have a feeling I know how kind of Jared got there because y'all are a lot closer and you've been closer for a
mhm.
longer time. But like, how did I get there? Because it kind of, for me, it felt like it was almost, I don't want to say like immediate,
Right.
but
You also have you have a sense of like
awareness.
yeah, awareness or like consciousness of like what talking to humans is like, you know, or treating them respectfully. And like that day, that guy just didn't understand what like social norms were.
And
Like you
it,
don't make jokes about HIV and AIDS,
yeah,
and that's what he was trying to do.
yeah,
And
it was rough.
yeah, yeah.
But
So it's that you're aware of. I mean, like we can make dick jokes, and we can make like, you know, even Ryan Martin will make like, you know, a Dick and Lane box or something like that joke. I'm cool with that because like at least I know he's joking, and I know like where he's coming from is respectful. It's being hilarious. I mean, being dumb and joking, but it's still a respectful form. Whereas like that other guy 100% was trying to get at me and trying to like make a gay joke that would be offensive, but yet try to make it funny. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
or he just doesn't know how to do it. Like he just doesn't know how to.
There were a
So
lot of
like
things
so
leading up to that day, like or that joke that he had made that
so
just
it,
weren't
it, it
funny.
wasn't just like a one time
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. It wasn't
So
one joke.
so okay, so how hmm, how do you navigate that as a gay man? How do you navigate under like knowing if a straight guy is maybe being a little like homophobic or aggressive, kind of out of maybe fear or lack of knowledge? Like, how do you
So
navigate?
so most like homophobia is someone either reacting off the fact that they're gay and they don't want someone to know it,
Or there's
or
some
they're
sort of
just ignorant.
feeling there's something
Yeah, they're
there,
just
right?
ignorant. Like they have never tried to educate themselves on like someone being gay.
Mhm.
So for the most part, like that guy probably thought that I chose to be gay. I choose to sleep with men, and that being straight is just, you know, that's the right way, and that there's no other choice, you
Right.
know? And he doesn't get that like since I was 5 years old, I've known I was gay. That I mean, Jared knows I've dated women before. I've tried to be straight, but it just didn't. It wasn't right. It
Yeah.
didn't work out because it's not who I am. And so like when I was 5, I remember like my neighbor Ricardo was my like husband. We'd play house and we played husbands because, you know, yeah, that's just what it was. And then growing up, my mama would always be like, you know, if you're gay, I don't care. Like it's all right. And I'd be like, I'm not gay. And then that one day I was like, yeah, well, by the way, mom, I'm gay. And she was like, yeah, I've told you that like your whole life. So he just doesn't, or most people that are homophobic or whatever they are, just don't understand that, like, they think it's a choice, and they think that we choose to, like, sleep with other people or with people of the same sex because, we're doing sinful things. But it's like, how is it sinful if, like, that's the way you were born? You know what I mean? Like, when
Right.
did you choose to be straight?
Never.
Yeah. We didn't wake up one day and we are like, you know what? We could either sleep with women or we could sleep with men. No, I mean, it's just we're attracted to them the same way. Like, the first crush you had, we've all had our first crush. Like, I remember the lead singer of Aha was my first crush. Like, I thought he was so hot.
Is that the Take On Me?
Take
Dude?
on Me, yeah. That black and white
Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
thought it was the hottest thing in the world.
He had great hair.
Yeah. Now I don't know what he looks like today. I don't want to look. It'll ruin it for
Hey,
me.
we're looking that shit up
No, I
after
don't
this.
want to.
Well, I'm gonna look it up because I gotta know.
Yeah.
So I have two questions. I just want to put them out there so that I can make sure I remember.
Yeah.
The first question is, well, this isn't really a question. This is more of a setup. So you grew up in Yoakum.
Yep.
Okay. How many people?
At the time, like 5,611.
Okay. So
I remember that on the population slide.
what kind of men did you grow up around when we were talking about, like, people are just homophobic or people are just ignorant? Like, what was it like growing up in that really, like, small town?
Yeah, well, and the difference is, like, so growing up, I always tell people, like, I'm a military brat without the military, especially in Texas, because, until a certain age, my mom and myself and my brother lived in Houston. And then we moved to Arlington. And I lived there until the 6th grade. And then we moved from Arlington to Yoakum, Texas. So it was like a huge culture shock going from, like, the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
How old are you in 6th grade? 12, 13, somewhere around there?
I turned 13, like, weeks after we moved to Yoakum. So I celebrated my 13th birthday with, like, 0 friends. It was my mom and her best friend and her family, but I, like, had 0 friends my age because we had just moved there.
Did you, really quickly, did you already have, like, gay friends when you were in Arlington?
I do remember there's a kid, Alex, that I was friends with, and he was gay, but I don't think we knew what gay was, like, at the time. You know what I mean? Like,
The same way that you and Ricardo didn't know what gay
well, yeah, right.
was?
We didn't know what it was. We just knew we liked each other,
Right.
and I knew that I was attracted to men, or I thought guys were cute,
More-
but I didn't think
Or more
girls-
interesting
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
whatever it is, right?
And so, and then moving to Arlington or to Yoakum, like, at 13, like, I definitely knew I thought guys were attractive, but moving from, like, a town where, like, the kid Alex was, like, very flamboyant when I was, like, in the 6th grade. I remember that. But when I got to Yoakum, it straight up stopped. Because immediately I turned into that kid where, like, the 2 nerdiest kids that probably got beat up the most in, like, junior high. Then, like, I missed school one day because I didn't want to go, and, like, I was sick, and I stayed home. And the next thing you know, someone, told me, oh, well, there's a rumor going on that Steven and so beat you. I can't remember the other kid's name, like Steven and Donnie or something, beat you up because, and that's why you stayed home. And I was like, okay, absolutely won't miss a day again because there's no way the nerds are going to be the ones that beat me up. Like, these are kids that are, like, in AP math and, like, wear the glass with a tape on it. And no, that whatever. But the guys that I grew up with in that town are all, like, I mean, I guess we would probably call them shit kickers,
Yeah.
like, just cowboys, like, all of them very straight heteronormative guys that, like, play football and all of that.
But we've talked about this before, though, but you just, like, kind of, like, you tried to, like, just blend right in, right?
The
And you did
difference
that
was,
through-
like,
through
that was
sports,
back,
right?
yeah.
Like, you did through
So
sports, right?
Sports is where I finally level set the game. But, like, when I moved there, I should have brought you, like, my junior high yearbooks so you could see
I have a stack of shit over here I can show you, bro. It's rough.
my shirts. Remember, like, that was when Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was, like, big, and he used to wear those really, like, baggy button-down shirts that had a whole bunch of different colors and shapes on it. So I had those, and I wore them, and, like, people would be like, "Oh, so, like, is that your grandpa's shirt?" And I'm like, "No, like, in Arlington, which is 10 years ahead of this town, this is what's cool. Maybe it'll get here, maybe it won't, but this is what people are wearing."
That was very similar for me.
Yeah.
Because I loved Houston and I loved Houston culture. And so, like, I wore all this stuff or cut my hair the way kids did in the school. And interestingly enough, got a reaction of that I was gay.
Yeah.
Because it was different. Like, because
Yeah.
nobody's going to do that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, in a small town,
Anything out of the norm is gay.
is gay, or whatever makes them uncomfortable isn't right, you
Right.
know? And so it was interesting. It wasn't until it was, I guess, end of my 6th grade year, starting the 7th grade is when we started trying out for, like, different sports. And I remember the day that, like, ended the conversation of, like, everybody picking on me was we went and tried out for track, and we get out there, and I beat everybody in, like, in junior high in running and the 100. And my coach was like, "You're gonna play football, and you're gonna play this, and, you know, you're gonna run track." So I tried football, but then when my
What was your
coach really
position in football?
wide receiver,
Okay.
no jokes. But, when, when my coach really saw how fast I was in track, he wouldn't let me play football anymore because he was
Was that a
afraid my
relief?
legs would get messed up. Huh?
Was that a relief?
Yeah, oh my god.
You're like, "Fuck
So
football."
stupid. Yeah, here's the thing, like, it didn't bother me because I was fast enough to where I rarely got hit,
Right.
but I also didn't wanna get tackled by somebody because, like, if someone else was fast enough to keep up, I didn't
Find out
wanna
what that
get
was
hit.
like?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
get lit up, I'm not into it. So, yeah, but then once I started running track and I was beating everybody, people start when you're an athlete, people start picking on you.
Was that a relief for you?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. Um,
Do you think that that had a big effect on you, like, I don't wanna say surviving that, but making through?
Making it through it, yeah.
Yeah.
There was still one kid that, um, that
There's
still
always
picked
there's
on
always
me.
that one.
Yeah, that would always be like, so I go by Layne now, that's my middle name, but I went by JR in, junior high and high school, and he would go around and tell everybody, "Oh, JR got a hard on in the showers. He was looking at so and so's dick." And I'm like, first of all, that didn't happen. But second of all,
And
like,
it kinda doesn't work like that?
yeah, right. But also at the same time, like, he would do this at lunch. And so finally one day at lunch, I was just like, here's a dude, Chris, or here's a deal, Chris. Like, how would you know if I had a hard on unless you were staring at my dick? And everybody in the room got silent. And then you hear, "Oh," because it clicked. I'm like, "You're sitting there talking about me being gay and staring at people's dicks, but you're staring at my dick the whole time." Like, you obviously are. But at the same time, like, he was that kid that would come up and talk to you and you're talking to him, you could see his eyes move from your eyes to your crotch, your eyes to your
For
crotch.
real?
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, there were guys that didn't maybe knew that I was gay but didn't care or whatever,
Yeah.
but, like, this guy Patrick Gordon, who I'm, like, love to death because, like, he helped me make it through high school. He was the coolest kid. Like, he pole vaulted in track, and uh, he dated my mom's boyfriend's daughter at the time. Like,
Wait.
so my mom's boyfriend had a
Uh-huh.
daughter.
Uh-huh.
Patrick dated her,
Okay, got it.
but I mean, or Patrick and I were on like multiple relays together and things like that, and um, overshare, but very large penis. Yes, I saw it. But he also would tell
Because
people,
you are gay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but also he would tell people, like he would even say, "My mom said I've got a huge penis."
My
And I'm
mom
like,
said
"How does she know?" And he was like, "I'll just get out of the shower," and then she'd see him and be like, "That's huge penis." And I was like, "Oh my god!" But there was one day where like Chris was just he had brought it up again, and I'm like, we're in high school, like you're bringing stuff up from junior high, but you brought it up again. I was irritated, and rather than trying to fight somebody or even argue, just ignored it. But I was in a bad mood, and Patrick had said something to me, and our lockers were right next to each other, and he was like, "What is your problem today?" It's like, again, Chris over there who's staring at everybody's dicks is like making comments about me, and he goes, "All right, I got this." And we had just gotten out of the shower, so he's got a towel wrapped around him, and he pulls it off, and he walks over, and he's standing by Chris, and he props his leg up on like the footstool that's there, and he's like, "Yeah, Chris, like blah blah. Are you staring at my dick? Are you staring at my dick? You're talking about JR being gay, but you're staring at my dick just now." And like, I got dressed quick and got out of there. And like, after that, Chris came running out of the locker room trying to get out of there and like never mentioned it again. And like later in class, Patrick would be like, took care of that. And I'm like, oh my God. But I mean, I loved it because he literally killed the issue because everyone would talk about Chris sitting there staring at your dick, but no one would bring it up in public to where it would just stop the problem.
like just really quickly for just my like
Mhm.
Patrick, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was like his role in this small town high school? Like, was he like a jock? Was he like a pretty good
He was a
jock?
jock, yeah, he played
Like a
football, he
kind of
played
guy
baseball,
that
he
would be
ran track, yeah.
like a Mr. Athlete kind of guy,
Yeah.
or like homecoming king kind of dude, like that kind of guy.
Yeah, we didn't have that, but
But
yeah,
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 he was
he would
that
fit that
kind of
role,
guy.
yeah, 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 and I mean, like, the cool thing was, I mean, we were friends. I mean, because of track, and did we go out and hang out outside of like school and stuff like that? Not a lot, maybe randomly, but in school, like he was one of the people that I would just hang out with and have a lot of fun with, and like he just didn't care,
Well,
like
he's probably respectful.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And he just didn't like it when people were picked on,
gone.
So
Well,
yeah.
and when in a really small town, that way that dynamic works. There's just these certain people that have all this power,
Mhm.
right? And it's stupid, weird power. It's not worth anything. But in those in when you're in high school and in those moments, it's a lot like teen movies and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I
It's
mean, and like through through sports, I pretty much killed a lot of it, and then I became student body president, and that just like I didn't have an issue. Like I never got in trouble. Like teachers loved me. Most of the students loved me. I didn't really have like, I mean, I had people who I hung out with. Like I had my best friend Denise and Bill and things like that. Like we all hung out together. But then like there wasn't a clique that I just fit into as like that's the only people I hang out with. Like I didn't care who you were or how much money your parents made because we were poor. I hung out with everybody and I treated everybody the same way. So, I could walk down the hallway and pretty much know everybody I mean, we knew everybody in high school. There were
right. Yeah.
324 people in my high school, so we knew everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small towns, gotta love them.
You said something earlier that your mom kept asking you like, hey, just you're gay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're gay.
Yeah,
I love you no
or
matter
whatever.
what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Why did you resist telling her?
Well, because growing up, I mean, like you're told being gay wasn't right. Like
Right.
not by my mom, obviously, but like in general, society makes it out to be like we're horrible. And, that was what, 80s and 90s.
Hmm.
So we've got the AIDS epidemic that had hit, and all you hear about are all these gay people dying and gay is bad and all this other stuff. It wasn't until I was in college that I realized that really there were way more gay people than I thought because I could probably count the gay people on one hand in Yoakum at the time. Like now they're everybody's gay, it seems like, but like I mean like my coaches my dentist's son's gay, and I remember like we ran track together and I never would have thought he was gay, and then I found out he loves bears. Like he's this little skinny dude and he loves like big hairy dudes, and like that's really interesting.
Did
Um
you have any interactions with him in high school?
yeah, we were friends, but I didn't know that he was gay.
Did he ever question you being gay?
Mm-mm. His mom loved me. His mom, like for my birthday, because his mom and like some other ladies would walk the track whenever we were in athletics. And so she brought me like this sheet cake for my birthday for the entire team and things like that. I mean, she was the coolest lady. And then, yeah, I mean, like I didn't know anybody was gay literally until I got to college.
Yeah.
And then there was one kid, Ruben, who was like probably 6 grades behind me. Like when I was in the 9th grade, he was in third. And one of my really good friends' parents was a third grade teacher, and she told us about how like Ruben came to school dressed in all of his mom's clothes. And they had to send him home to change.
No way.
Yeah, I love it. He cracked me up. I mean, the most flamboyant kid his entire life in Yoakum and didn't care. Like probably my hero when it comes to gay kids.
I mean,
because
that's a feat.
yeah,
In a small town.
very much so.
Yeah.
And then and there was this other kid, I don't remember his name, but he lived at Bluebonnet Youth Ranch. I don't know if you remember that, but it's like a foster ranch where all these foster kids, there's multiple cabins, and there's like 2 parents in each one, and they have like 8 kids in the cabin. And so this kid lived there, and he was the first male cheerleader we had in Yoakum, but he ended up moving at the end of the year because he got picked on so much by everybody that he has to be transferred to another like
Really?
school or whatever. It's dumb the way kids get picked on in small towns. I mean, granted, I get they get picked on in large towns. I just feel like bigger cities have a more open mind than small towns.
That and there's more places to hide.
Yeah, or there's more people to protect you.
Yeah, like I mean, you can have a group of like 4 or 5 kids in a school of thousands, and like they can just be their unit in a
Yep.
small, like you said, in a small school. Like everybody knows everybody, and so there
Yeah.
is none of that.
I mean, luckily back when we were growing up and like when we were in school, and we mentioned this earlier before when we were talking to Elijah about like how we probably didn't meet was because there wasn't that social media and there weren't cell phones and all that. Like if you wanted to call and pick on someone, you literally had to use your landline to call their house and pick on them and probably get their parents before you got them.
Right.
And we didn't have the like Facebook to irritate someone on nonstop. Like once I went home, everything stopped and I didn't care. I had my friends and we were cool and it didn't really matter.
Uh, I saw this thing that they were just like a tidbit to kind of go to what you're saying. They said, you know, like before social media, you know, kids just got picked on at school,
Yeah.
but now get picked on at school, they get picked on at home
On their cell
because
phone.
on their that's what I'm saying, like on their cell phone, like you know what I mean, and it's like
Mhm.
relentless.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine trying not to be gay with that much like social media and things like that. Like that'd have been insane.
Say that one more time.
Trying not to be gay. Like one back in the day, I was just trying not to be gay. You know what I mean? Like when I was growing up, I just wanted to go to school and get stuff done and get out of that town as soon as I could. But I couldn't imagine doing it now. Like at that age, doing it now with all that social media, it would drive me crazy.
Just you mean like just you're too accessible,
Yeah,
like
like like
too much
being bullied
potential.
nonstop.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
too much potential for
yeah. I mean, even when I was in college, there was I worked I worked for the movie gallery. It was like Blockbuster, but for small towns.
mhm.
And
I think we had a movie gallery.
yeah, and I ended up working at the one in Cuero when I would come home from college, and like I would, come home and then I would drive to Cuero during the summer and work at that one because they had an opening and it wasn't. I mean, it was literally 15 miles. It's not that big of a deal. And there was one woman in there, and like multiple people kept coming up to me and saying, "Oh, so and so says you're gay," and she's telling everybody you're gay and blah blah blah, this other stuff. And so she came in and I rang her up and I waited till I like took her movies over to the side where the alarm's not at, and I set him down and I said, "Next time you have a question about if I'm gay or straight, come to me. You don't need to go to everybody in this town so they come back to me. It's probably the dumbest thing you could do. If you have a question, ask me because I'm gonna just ask you, are you a bitch?" She was like, "Excuse me?" I said, "That's my question. Now get out." And she called my manager. My manager's like, "I mean, maybe don't go around town telling everybody he's gay. How about that?" Like, and
Look
I
at
mean,
that
and here's the
support.
thing, like, I'd come out by that point, but it's not the point. Like, mind
Yeah,
your
yeah,
business. Like, if you have a question, come to me.
and especially because you're already out,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. So that this is not a
There were
question anymore.
many a men in Southwest Texas that knew I was gay.
What made you change your mind about telling your mom?
Just being comfortable with it. Like, I was sleeping with people, and I was coming to Austin to like go out, and I'm like, I don't know why I hadn't told her. Like, it wasn't like I was not wanting to tell her. It was just I hadn't told her. So there was one day we were driving to, I want to say we were driving back from Houston at Christmas, and I was like, I tried to think of something like just stupid to tell my mom so it wouldn't be that bad, right? So I was just like, "Mom, you know how like I called you that one day and I'd like hit somebody and I was kind of stressed out about it?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I go, "Well,
I'm gay.
basically I left the scene and someone was hurt and I didn't realize it. And so now I'm in trouble for like hit and run and like I'm kind of stressed out. I'm gonna probably need a lawyer and we're gonna figure it out." And she's like, "Oh my God. Oh my, why would you do that?" And I was like, "I'm kidding, Mom, I'm gay." And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just kidding, I'm gay." She's like, "Oh my God." And like she slapped me, pulled the car over, and she's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "I don't know. I figured if I almost killed someone,
That was your logic.
it's not as bad as being gay. Or not, gay is not being as bad as almost killing someone." She was like, "I mean, that's fair, but come on now. I've told you before." I'm like, "I know, but see, now you've got a story." Like
Oh man, I just like how you tried to set up the story by just telling a horrific story before the
yeah.
story to soften the blow of the second story.
Yeah. And you know what? She wasn't upset about me being gay though, because I didn't kill anybody.
I mean, now Lane's not recommending that
Oh, please
if
don't.
you come out,
Yeah.
don't use that tactic necessarily.
Also, please don't kill anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, don't do that either. Yeah.
I'm an advocate for life.
All right. So I kind of told you, like, I mean, and we already kind of like got into this stuff, but like that I kind of wanted to do, I don't know, just kind of talk about some different subjects that maybe we'll just say someone that grew up in Yoakum or the average maybe straight
Mhm.
male doesn't like really think about. Um
It's like when I went back for a reunion, and one of the girls that I went to high school with brought like a coworker with her who happened to be gay, and we ended up at, we'll just say his name is Adam because it is. I won't tell you his last name, but we ended up at Adam's house and we were going to do a pasture fire. You know, these, like,
Mm.
we set up a big bonfire, you burn things, everybody hangs out. And it was cold. We ended up back in his house. We're all having drinks. And he comes in, he was like, "Hey, I'm cool with you two being gay. Just don't have sex in my house." And I went, "Okay, first of all, Adam, let me explain something to you. You know how, like, every woman isn't attracted to you?" And I went, "Wait a minute, let me rephrase that. I know that you don't understand that every woman's not attracted to you, but let me tell you, every woman doesn't think you're attractive. That's the same way we feel about each other. Just because we're gay doesn't mean we're going to sleep together.
Right.
We may not find each other attractive. We also maybe are dating people and aren't going to have sex. It's just crazy that way. Come on now." And one of my friends,
it's just like everybody
yeah,
else.
and one of my friends who we ran sprints together, and he's a pastor. He was like, "What did he say to you?" "I'll fight him." I'm like, "Calm down. Like, let's not get a man of the Lord in trouble. Like, it doesn't matter. He's dumb. Let it go. Like, it's good."
Well, but we kind of like talked about this before that, like, just because a guy is gay and if you're a male, it doesn't mean he wants you.
I can promise you that that's a true statement. Like, and I find it funny too, like, it's the grossest, not and not maybe the grossest, but, like, the dirtiest, or the like, the guys that don't, like, take showers on a regular basis are like, "Ugh, that gay guy's gonna hit on me." Believe me, you smell bad enough that I don't wanna come within a foot of you, like, it's good. Like, and also, there's probably a woman that finds that attractive. There might be a man that does, but not everybody does, and so, no.
Right. And also, if you're a man seeking a woman, then you need to seek a woman that likes guys that smell
Yeah.
and stop worrying about me.
Have you ever I'm just sure you've seen it, Queer Eye?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's one that, like, the guy, you could tell he's really uncomfortable, and, like, they made some jokes to him, and he was worried they were gonna hit on him, and then they went and, like, washed his hair. He's a Wagyu, like, beef, like,
Maker.
yeah, raised cattle raiser or whatever, and, like, dirt and shit came out of his hair as they're washing it. I'm like, "What person would like him?" And then I realized the person that nominated him for that episode was my former coworker.
No way.
Yeah, and she's super conservative, which I find funny. You're okay with a man that comes in with shit in his hair, but you're not okay with gays. Whatever, it's fine. To each their own. I'm glad you found a Wagyu beef razor, whatever you call them.
With dirty ass hair.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I love that you have, like, questions written
no,
down.
no, no. Well,
This is my
I just
favorite.
kind of wrote these little notes because, like,
It's
like,
good.
well, just because, like, a lot of these things, like, I mean, I obviously have other gay friends, and so
No.
no, I mean, but you're the greatest,
Well,
so,
duh.
well, I mean, I don't know Elijah yet. I mean, maybe
It's fine. Like, here's the best part about him is, like, he's, like, the counterbalance. Like, my
he's cool with you
neighbors,
being the greatest.
well, duh. He has to be. Hello, because I am. But the thing is, like, my neighbors, like, you know me, I say things that just come to my head, or I literally pick on everyone, because if I don't pick on you,
That means you don't like
I
him.
don't like you. I don't want to be around you. And people, like, everyone that's met Elijah, be like, "We really like Elijah. He's so sweet." And I'm like, "Yeah, what about me?" And they're like, "I mean, you're an asshole, but we love you."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Okay, great. So it's a good balance. It's
yeah.
a good balance." Like, yeah, we have fun hanging out. I think. I mean, comes back. So,
Well, yeah, and y'all are like traveling together, right?
well, he has to travel here. I'm about to travel there. When I get back from Europe, I'll be going to Edwardsville. Yeah.
I don't even know where that's at.
It's not.
Not in a good place.
Yeah.
So
It's Illinois.
I started thinking about, and it's kind of what you already touched on, but maybe this, like, sorry, straight males. When a
I'm
straight
not.
when a straight male mansplains you, when he mansplains
Uh,
you, like this happens, right?
well, yeah, but there are a lot of straight men, like, especially, like, super heteronormative is what we call it, or cis males, that, like, think that, like, because I'm gay, I don't know how to do things. Like, let me just tell you, I know how to work on cars. I know how to shoot a gun. I know how to, like, I grew up in the country. I know how to fight. Like, there was a time.
Like, hey,
There was a time
you're a
when,
dude.
yeah,
You're a
yeah. I
dude.
mean,
Yeah.
there was a time when, like, I'd be at the bars, and, like, you remember, I moved to New York for 2 years, and I came back, and when I came back, the bar owners were like, The one thing we do miss is like there's not as many fights anymore. I was like, well, I'm back. Like, but also you warn people. I will give someone 3 warnings before I hit them. Like 3 strikes, you're out. But I also like one kid slapped me one time because he got mad because I didn't find him attractive, and I
Wait,
turned around
was it a
and
straight guy or a gay
no,
guy?
gay guy, and I punched him, and everybody was mad because like, why'd you punch him? I'm like, he slapped me. Like, what? Also, I don't slap. I'm a dude. Like, I'm gonna punch you. I grew up in the South. I grew up in the country. Like, don't slap me. I'm gonna knock you out. Like,
Right.
no, whatever. I also grew up with a brother who's 6 years older than me. I got the crap beat out of me. I learned how
Yeah.
to fight very early. I also learned how to hold my breath for a very long time because he would zip me up in a sleeping bag, fart in it, and then sit on the open end and throw punches. Yeah.
Do you okay, just really quickly. Do you think that having him in your life also helped growing up in Yoakum and like that whole
It
deal?
made me tougher. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, my brother even like, so the shotgun that I own has my dad's name on it, and
mhm,
my brother had it for the longest, and he called me and was like, "Look, you and dad share the same name. You need this shotgun. Come get it." I was like, "All right." And while we were sitting there, we're drinking wine, and my brother is super like introverted and very I wouldn't say like not conservative in like voting, probably he is. I don't want to talk about it, but or I don't ask him about it, but conservative in like conversation. Like he's just very quiet
mhm.
unless you really, really know him. And so we were drinking wine and he just turned and was like, I really need to apologize to you because like when we were growing up, I picked on you a lot. I was like, you're my brother. That was your job. And he was like, yeah, but I made fun of you for being gay. And I went, yeah, most brothers do. It's fine. Like, I'm good. Yeah, we're fine. And he was like, "Okay, I just wanted to make sure." And, like, I've never seen my brother like that, not like emotional, but just that like concerned. I was like, You're fine."
Was he was that is the way he was that ever offensive to you? Like you remember
No,
in the
no,
very
yeah, no, no, because it didn't. And like I just thought it was my brother. You know what I mean? Like
right.
it. I never thought about it as offensive, and also I don't remember him ever saying anything other than like, "You're so gay. Oh my god, why are you gay?" And like whatever. Everybody says that. You know what I mean? Like growing up, everybody's brother said that to them.
Yeah.
So it didn't yeah, it didn't offend me.
Okay. So I don't know if I'm gonna word this question right. Okay.
I'll get offended if you don't. Don't worry
No.
about it.
Um how how do you I'm basically asking
Yeah.
about gaydar. Like, how do you know, not know? So
Uh,
this would be my biggest fear is that I would go in a room and because like, people are
right,
closeted, I don't know. So how do you know like it's hard enough for me to get shot down by like a female.
right.
Like
Well, so Gaydar works for a couple of things. One, kinda just know, right? Like, there's this, like, sense that you get it. But then there's like, a lot of interactions that are, like, nonverbal that happen that you're just like, "Oh, they're gay. They're gay AF." Like, because, like, they'll make eye contact with you nonstop, or they'll, like, look away or whatever, or, like, you're in the locker room and they're staring at your dick. So, like, all of those things just kind of being like, "Yeah, that they're gay." Or just conversation. Like, sometimes people who try to be super straight will slip up and say something, you're like, "Oh, yeah, they're gay."
so, would it be fair to say since you kind of like already know, there's no need for a straight dude to announce to you that he's not that
That he's straight?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to know. I don't care. Like, I get it. Yeah, bruh. I mean,
Yeah, bro.
I'm not gay except for when I get a bro job from my friend. Like, I get it. Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay. Now, this was Aaron's question. Okay.
Okay.
So, Aaron is my girlfriend. She wants to know she wants to know what the gay bases are. Like, so, like first base, second base, third base, fourth base. She wants to know
We
are they
don't really get to bases because literally the first time
everything's in the park home run or what?
we just literally get a home run. Like Elijah and I did not. We actually like the first time we hung out, uh, we cuddled. We literally cuddled and watched TV.
I
Like
think
it
it's
was
good.
yeah, no, it was awesome. And then um I don't even think the second time we hung out we had sex. Like we just yeah. Uh and I think
Did y'all meet on the app?
we met when he was here for his friend lived here at the time and he was coming to get his friend during South by
Uh-huh.
to move him back to St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
And so we met while he was here
Oh, okay.
and just started hanging out. Like there we exchanged numbers and I was like, do you want to come over? And he's like, yeah. And so he came over and probably in our minds we were going to end up having sex, but we didn't. We ended up just cuddling, and then his friend was leaving to drive to where he lives because he was going to live with him for a little bit, and Elijah's flight didn't leave until later in the day. So I was like, well, why don't you just come and hang out while you wait for your flight, and I'll take you to the airport. So we did that, and then we were like, you should probably come back, and he's been back like 12 times. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah, he's all right. Don't tell him about it.
Hey, where that first time, were you trying to do something, or were you just trying to cuddle?
I mean,
Was he playing hard to get? What was he doing?
we would have hit a home run, no doubt.
Right.
Like, but I think both of us just really connected, and it was comfortable. It was kind of relaxing, anxiety like
Yeah,
reducing to like get to know someone for a little bit before you get into it. And I think it just got so comfortable that we were just content with
Well,
getting to know each other first.
and I would say, like any other relationship, any romantic, loving, or whatever
Mhm.
relationship, um, that there's a level that respect. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
if you want something to work, it's got to start with a little respect from the beginning.
yep,
You know what I
Right.
mean? I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of one night stands that ended in 20-year marriages, but I mean,
Right.
also that's just one extra thing you got to throw on there that like this might fuck shit up. You
yeah.
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
and when you have to realize in the gay world, like once you exchange numbers, you've already seen each other naked, so it's not like a surprise when you go and like cuddle, and you're not like,
That is kind
yeah,
of a great part of gay world.
yeah. I've seen so many penises.
Does it go like this? It's like you exchange numbers and then there's like no text message. It's just a picture of a dick.
No, no, no. You'll start talking for a little bit, and then be like, "Hey, any more pictures of you?" And then all of a sudden, and like you could just mean face, but next thing you know, you
You
get
know what?
like whole pics and like
Hey, do
dicks.
you know what I love about that is like it's no different than any kind of straight
No,
texting. You know,
no,
I mean, someone that both of me and you know that isn't here right now, that happens to him a lot as
yeah.
well. You know what I mean? Like
Here's my thing, like, and also I think that in the gay world, we're just way more comfortable with like our sexuality and like being naked. Like I walk around my apartment naked, and like I'm on the top floor of my apartment complex, but the blinds are wide open daily. Like I don't bring the blinds down.
well,
So
no wonder so many
once
traffic
I
accidents
was
in
gonna
that
say,
fucking corner
once
of
the
your house.
sun goes down, like the lights on, you can see what's going on. You just have to really, you probably have to squint. I don't know. I mean,
It's way up there.
yeah, it's far away. That's what we're gonna use as an excuse. But
I'm just like, you know, I think a lot of girls are comfortable kind of just walking
yeah.
around naked because that's what they do. I've just never been that person, but I also like I sleep like in a shirt and shorts. Like I
Oh, I don't sleep with
no
any
no no,
clothes
but
on.
I mean, but I think it's just kind of that's how I'm
Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, let's see.
Oh, what are the next questions?
Oh, so that okay, okay. Um, so I don't know. I just wrote down this was like a one word thing, so I don't know if it's okay. Um,
What's the word?
are okay. So straight guys
Mhm.
tend to be territorial over kind of like girl, like if they're at a club,
Yeah.
like there'll be a girl and everybody's kind of hitting on the girl and they're kind of like trying to leverage. So like when gay guys go out, is it like it feels like it'd be twice as bad because it's all dudes. And then it's all dudes being territorial over.
It's not about being territorial. I don't think people are territorial. I think what it is every or the gay community. It's not every gay, but the gay community in general are all about the next best thing. So like you could meet someone and want to like get it on with them and have sex, but if they meet someone else they find a little bit better, oh, it's over in a minute. Like they're like,
A lot of trust issues running around. And
"Oh my god, it's stupid. It's dumb."
I put you on the spot right quick. You trust this guy?
Yeah.
What
We're open about everything though.
Yeah.
So, but is that what makes you trust him? Like, and so in a community
Mhm.
that is basically, it sounds like there's not very much trust because guess what? They're dudes and they
Right.
act like dudes. This has always been my stance that whether you like to have sex with a guy or a girl, if you're a guy, you act like a guy.
Right. The thing I think that needs to happen. So one, like we're early on in dating, like it's
I
been
know I
4
didn't mean to
months.
put you on the
No,
spot.
we're fine. But I mean, we're 4 months in,
That's a long time though. It sounds like.
and at the same time, like we're open about what we're doing, and we both know like we're still on apps and we're allowed to do what we want. We just have to tell each other about it because, like, one, I mean, obviously there are STDs and things like that that we need to make sure that we get tested before we have sex again, things like that. But we don't live in the same town, and so until we do live in the same town, like an open relationship works for us because we may get horny and want to have sex, and we're
Is
not
that
there.
is that a that feels very respectful,
Yeah.
like based on the situation, right?
Mhm.
Is that a common thing in the gay
Open
community, or
relationships in the gay community are a common thing because gays are horny. I mean,
they're
like
guys?
yeah,
We
and
we just went over this.
but the thing is like there are very few relationships that I've seen that are open long term that have made it.
Right.
Like either
Because
they
it's hard.
either they have been like
Somebody's gonna fall.
well, the thing is they've either been monogamous for a very long time and then decided let's spice things up and open it, or they opened it and then something happened
It's like
and that
Pandora's
broke up
box.
the
Yeah.
relationship. So like I think the ones that have been together for a very long time and then they open their relationship up, I think the reason why that works is because like maybe they've been together so long and the sex got boring and like to liven it up, they've slowly started opening it up and then that's cool. And but they love each other. There's already that relationship there. Whereas like when you just go into it as an open relationship, like you there not that there aren't boundaries, but then all of a sudden you find a boundary that probably wasn't okay to cross. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I don't know. I always said I would never have like an open relationship, and then I was like, we were talking about how like we're not near each other. Like, what do we do? You know, so
Well,
I still pick on him. Like if I see him on Grinder, I'll be like, so I saw you on Grinder. What was that about? Tell me about it. He'd be like, you're being dumb. I'm like, am I though? Or like if he doesn't answer the phone, I'll be like, who's over there?
you jealous bitch.
No, I'm just being an asshole. Like that's my life.
Um. Oh man, I had another question. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it'll come back to me.
Here's the thing I don't understand about the gay community. I'll give you this.
Okay. Give me
And
something to work with.
I don't understand thruples.
What's that?
Thruples are where 3 men are dating.
What is
And
that?
like it's like literally a relationship with like it would be like the 3 of us and we're all 3 boyfriends. And
But then we all are seeing other people as well.
it's not, not even that. Like I know a throuple that's not an open relationship. It's just the 3 of them. But I don't in my head I don't understand because I can't when it comes to sex, yes, I can
Oh, I remember
I'm
my
good
question.
with
But keep
like
going.
I'm good with like the 2 of us having a relationship and yeah, we can have sex with other people because I can separate that. But like when it comes to like liking Elijah, like I don't know that I could have that same emotion with 2 people at the same time.
How much you like him?
Yeah. I don't see how people do that.
Well, they-
Emotionally, I could not do more than one person. Physically,
Mm.
bring it on. Like, let's have an orgy.
This would be my guess. I would guess that if you're 3 guys in a relationship, either A, on some level everybody's trying to kind of run from something because it's preoccupied in multiple directions. So there isn't that connection that y'all talked about, like a
Right.
real strong one. They're all very loose. And 2, at some point, if someone develops that, it throws the triangle
When
off.
I've known a lot of thruples that have broken up and like 2 people stay together, but the
Ooh.
3rd one got like kicked out. I'm like,
that's gonna be rough when they
poor
meet up at
little
the club
nugget.
like
Yeah.
later. You know what I mean? Like
So awkward. Oh well.
so. Okay. I personally have been in relationships where like, we dated for like 2 or 3 years, and like the sex would just kind of get less and less, but just tired or what all the things that happen. Does that happen in a gay relationship?
Yeah, I mean, gay relationships are the same as straight
No,
relationships.
but that's what I was trying to get
But
at.
I think that's also why people probably open it up, is because it kind of got to the point where they weren't having sex, and so then they can spice it up by bringing people in and or open it up and having sex with other people, and then that livens it up, and so the sex part of it's taken care of, and then they've still got the emotional part with their partner.
Ooh, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten that far yet, so
Y'all haven't got tired of having sex.
Our thing is just our timing. Like,
Well-
right now it's trying to figure out which one of us is horny at the same. Well, we've got to get horny at the same time.
Well, you have to be in the same place too. I mean, you have
Well,
to be in
yeah,
the same
but I
place.
mean, like when we're like he was here a couple weeks ago, and like we spent the whole week together, and then I got COVID, so he couldn't leave because we had to make sure that he didn't get, like he didn't test positive for
Right.
COVID later. And like our timing was so off the whole time.
But just it's sometimes it's like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But I
that's just life.
but again, every relationship's like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So this is the question I was gonna ask earlier. How okay. And this is kind of building off what I just said. How important I feel like sex has a really great importance in a gay relationship. Maybe is it would you think it's more or less the same as like a straight relationship, or like how is that aspect different?
I think no, I think it depends on the people, honestly, because like if some,
Because there's
I
plenty
mean,
of gay guys that act like old hag couple, like old
100%.
couples. Yeah,
I've
they
two
don't
of
do
my best
nothing.
friends are the oldest, like oldest gay couple I know, and they're younger than me. Like, but they've also built a house out in Llano, and they've got a great life, and the way it works for them, that's
Mhm.
their lifestyle, and I love that. I it honestly just depends on the person, and that's why I think a lot of relationships, even the straight world, don't work. Is like if you don't find the right person to match you, then it's never going to work out.
Yeah.
Like if you got someone with a crazy high sex drive and someone with a low sex drive, that's not going to work, because then the high sex drive person is obviously going to go out and find what they need.
Mhm.
Unless you have an open relationship, it's never going to work.
Right.
So
And also, I would say that you could communicate around that, right? But
but unless one of you changes,
yeah,
it's not
you
gonna
know,
change.
yeah, and like you can't bank on that at all,
Yeah.
right? You can't bank on like
But that's with any situation with any two humans. You know what I mean? Like if one human's super messy and the other one's not, there's no way they're gonna be able to handle it for the rest of their life, because the person that's not messy at all is having to clean up after them all the time. And if they're not willing to like meet halfway, that's just a burden, and all they're gonna do is resent them for that the whole time. So like if you get with someone that's got a super high sex drive and you have a low one, you're gonna be mad because they're always wanting to have sex, and they're always wanting to do this, and they're always trying to get up on you and get like frisky, and you're like, I got a headache or whatever your excuse is, like
oh, I fell off my scooter.
for me the only time, oops, stop it. God, that's so
Lane was in a bad. That's why his hands on
a
bandage.
moped
He was in a
accident.
bad moped accident. It was like something out of Batman. They like squirted oil out the back of the
Oh
car
my
and he slid all over.
God. It was bad. Yeah. Guy's car dropped oil everywhere. My moped lost traction, and I slid down South First, and South First treated me like a piece of cheese and grated me up.
And you said you're worse than your moped is, right?
My moped barely has a scratch on it. I'm so mad. But the funny thing is like literally when I'm in the ER, the first thing I think of, and I messaged Elijah, I was like, babes, we can't have sex. We can't have sex this weekend. He was like, you still have a mouth. JK. And I was like, oh my God.
But
But
that's
fair.
probably part of why y'all get along, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I mean, like we get along because we both do joke a lot, and I mean, I guess he likes me, so that's a plus. I like him, so yeah, it works out.
I mean, I think that's how that's kind
I
of.
did get super drugged out on pain meds the other day, and like one, just like this year has been a rough year. This like
Mhm.
between my mom, and I've had 2 car accidents and now a moped accident, and I had surgery and
You have a
emergency
scooter
surgery.
accident at South at ACL.
ACL, yeah.
Okay,
But
so
that was my fault, 100% my fault.
well, I mean, but you gotta throw it in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was high on mushrooms, trying to just enjoy the breeze, and
It blew
lost
you right off
control.
that scooter.
Shh, let's not talk about it. But I hit a patch of gravel and lost control of my scooter. But that was my fault. I'll give you that. But I'm like emotional because like I just like I'm not gonna be able to use my hand for weeks.
I know he's gonna be in.
I can't use my butt cheek for weeks. Like it's, I didn't even think my butt was that big, and this scab is as big as my butt cheek. But anyway,
You said you could like it's one of those you could feel it throbbing, right? Like when you
yeah, I
walk,
mean, like when I walk, my butt cheek
throbs.
throbs. I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't even know my butt cheek was that big, literally. And so I don't know. Like they finally gave me pain meds, and they hit hard. I don't know. I mean, like the most I take is like Advil, So then when they give me like over the or narcotics to like ease the pain, I was just like emotional and like feeling my best. Didn't even care about my hand, and I text him. I was like, Look, if you want to break up with me, you just tell me, okay? Because like it's been a shit year, and so like if you want to break up, just tell me. Because like I'd rather just
Did
be
you know he was
honest.
on payment? Did you know he's on payment?
No, I was honestly so busy at work, working night shift, that I got to it like an hour later, and I'm like, "Where is this coming
Yeah, he
from?"
was like, I
Like I didn't
don't want
even
to
make a
break up with you. I was like, I'm
connection.
just saying, if you want to, it's fine. Just tell me because like I know I'm a lot. Like
You
there's
gotta
been a
tell
lot
people when
going
you get on
on.
pain meds, bro. You can't just be like jumping on them and then
Well, I mean,
texting
I
people and
felt
telling
like
them you're
he
breaking
probably
up.
should know. I'd spent 3 hours in the ER for a grated butt and hand and
I know,
elbow.
but you went straight to breaking up with him on
I
pain.
wasn't. No, I was afraid he was going to, but it was just like the shit that goes through your head when you're on pain meds.
Yeah. Would you have
I had the.
hydrocodone?
They gave me Vicodin,
Wow.
but then also like from my surgery early in the year where I had like that emergency surgery from it too. Like I had tramadol left over
Oh,
and OxyContin, and so when I got home, I just took a tramadol because I couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain the day of that wreck.
oh, I bet.
I just was like, I just want to sleep. And I knew that like the tramadol that I had left over, I remember it from the surgery. Like it just knocks me out. Like it's the best sleep. It's so comfortable. I don't move. I don't roll over. I stay in the same, I wake up in the same position I went to bed in. And so I took a tramadol and my dream was like, where's Waldo, but for a drag queen. Like I literally was searching out this one drag queen named Violet Ward, who's a good friend of mine, Gilbert. And I was looking for her all over the city of Austin. And I found every lookalike until right before I woke up. And I found her. And that's what woke me up. It was like, oh, found Violet. And then I woke up. And then I woke up to his text messages like, I don't want to break up with you. Like, okay, good, good. That's a plus.
Yeah. I mean, because you were just in an accident.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean, you get in an accident and he breaks up with you in this like the same day.
yeah, but I felt like that should go together. So that's I think that in my mindset, that's what was going on. Like, if you want to break up, we should probably do it right now because I'm already in a shit mood. Like, just get it over with. And then
So,
he flew down here.
were you coming already? Were you already
Yeah,
planning on coming?
Yeah.
Down? Oh, okay.
he already bought the ticket.
Yeah. So, usually how like I wrap this whole shindig up is we kind of just, I mean, we haven't really talked about it this time, but I think that this, I really enjoyed this conversation because I just think it helps. Like I was thinking about this that we have all these ways to communicate, right?
Right.
And one of the very first ones was talking, and it's the one that we're the absolute shittiest at.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Because people just don't talk like this.
Mhm.
And I think that's, you know, when I say you're the world's greatest gay, I think what I really mean by that is like exactly this. Like, you don't when I ask you questions, you don't get offended and you
Mhm.
kind of, you'll joke with me or you'll tell me like things and like how am I supposed to know in a world that I don't even understand, I don't live in unless I ask questions and kind of learn, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I never get offended by someone like trying to educate themselves. It's more that like the guy that was at the crawfish boil that was making jokes. Like he wasn't trying to educate himself. He was just trying to offend somebody to make himself look better. Like his jokes weren't funny; they were offensive.
Right.
So, yeah, meh.
So,
We can continue this conversation anytime you want.
yeah,
Love this.
I mean, we could probably talk about it for like another hour. I mean,
I think we should do this again when Joe can be here. I mean, I'm offended. Like he's homophobic and trying to fight fires right now. Whatever.
he is okay. Okay, for the record straight, he is not homophobic.
He's not here when I'm here. Homophobic.
Is that it's like automatically.
He's gonna hear this later and be like,
He's gonna be
"Are
like,
you kidding me?"
what the fuck, So,
I'm literally butthurt that he's not here.
yeah, I know. Yeah, obviously. So, so what do you do to make sure that Layne is like good and like balanced to like be good for Elijah and all your friends and everything you do and to battle all these straight guys thinking that you're gonna hit on. So you do like heat boot camp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Do you like that?
like a high intensity? Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One. My dad's side of the family, everybody dies of like a heart attack at an early age, so I refuse to do that.
Mhm.
So like, I just try to stay fit just so that I don't, in my life early. I would like to live as long as possible. I eventually want to get married, maybe have a child. I don't know. They seem alike a lot. I've met yours.
Yeah.
She seems fun, but you have to change her diaper.
Yeah. They don't come they don't come already potty trained.
Maybe I'll get one later in life.
Yeah.
And I don't mean later in my life. I just mean later in theirs. To where
Yeah.
they might come with emotional issues, but I'll take that. I'm fine with it. We'll fix it. Yeah, but yeah,
I
CrossFit.
I mean, if you can catch them right as they're coming out of diapers, but right before they start developing, like, mentally,
Yeah, I got that.
you might be able to get in there.
I'm in there for that. Like, whatever. Like,
Look,
someone doesn't want their kid, I'll take them.
just take her for, like, a couple days, and you'll bring her back, and you'll be like, "No, I'm
That's
good."
birth control. No,
Yeah,
I don't want that.
yeah,
Like, I've got nieces and nephews. I
yeah,
know what age I want them at, and it's right about elementary,
yeah,
before they've got an attitude, so I can teach them the attitude. And I'm not the attitude person. Don't give it to me.
right.
Give it to the teacher. I don't care. We pay him for that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I have teacher friends. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, CrossFit, run.
Do you do yoga?
I've never done yoga. I want to try it.
Yeah.
But then also just like I try to have a social setting in the weekends. I don't during the week. I'm at home by myself watching TV and doing my thing.
So you try to are you would you say you're a people person? Are you a
Yeah,
people person?
I'm an extrovert, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, like, I mean, you recharge, like, going out and stuff like that. So, like,
mhm,
I mean, and I would say, like, I mean, we've partied together.
yeah,
I mean, you like to have fun.
slightly.
But that's, I mean, I would assume that's kind of why you say that for like kind of the Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday, Sunday, and then during the
I
week you're home.
can't like even like when I was in my 20s. Weekdays are too much because I'll never make it to class when we were in college or to work the next day. I save it for the weekend because I know there's no responsibility on the weekends. And then Monday, well, Sundays I probably drink too much. So Mondays are rough sometimes, but for the most part, Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, I don't drink
Yeah.
or party or whatever.
I,
Unless Elijah's in town, then he ruins it.
it's all your fault.
Yeah.
I really, well, with my job, like every day is Saturday. Like, you
Oh
know what I mean?
God, I wish.
Because I make my schedule for that day, so I
Oh
can work
yeah.
as I want, much as I want to, or I don't, whatever. So, there's days that I end up like working, and there's days I end up
I'm about
not.
to go
And
on vacation and it's gonna be the worst because every day will be Saturday. It's
that's
gonna be
bad.
so yeah, gosh. Like I just got back from Mexico a couple weeks ago and we were at an all-inclusive resort
Oh
and
wow,
me with unlimited
booze.
tequila or whatever, like the whole staff at the resort knew me. They're like as we were leaving, they're like, "Bye, Lane." I'm like, "Oh, bye." And my friend Nora's like, "Seriously?"
You see, that's how you get free shit.
I mean, everything was free. It was all inclusive.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I mean, apparently I'd get drunk and tip well.
Hey,
Bow, bow, bow. But
so you do a lot of you do a lot of traveling too, right?
I don't so this year is different. Prior to this, I mean, I would do maybe one vacation a year, but this year's the first vacation I went on was in Tulum. My friend Crystal, her company, she she and two of our friends own a real estate company and they take their high performers to Tulum
Mhm.
and they get to bring a plus one. So I was her plus one for that. So it was a week in Tulum. And then what was the next one? Palm Springs, but my friend lives there, so I stayed with him. So it was a long weekend, but I worked while I was there. Uh, Went to Playa del Carmen. That was for a friend's wedding. It was all inclusive. Ridiculous. I've never been to an all inclusive resort until then. And then in oh what in 9 days I leave to go to the UK and I'll stay a week and a half in England, but I'll be working from home from there. And then I fly to Cyprus for another friend's
Where the fuck's that
wedding.
at?
Cyprus is an island in the Mediterranean Sea.
Is it like one of those islands with all those little huts on the water and shit? Like one of
It's
those.
not, it looks a lot. I'm trying to think. It kind of looks like Greece in a way, like where they're all built together, like all the
Oh
houses are
wow.
connected right on the water, all of that. But we'll be at an all inclusive resort for my friend's wedding and I'll be there a week and a half. I'm like, I'm really trying to kill myself this year. Like my liver is screaming for water.
It's trying to get out of your body through your ass.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, earlier this year it really did.
um, anything else? Anything else you do? Like, are you a meditator? Do you meditate at all?
No, here's the problem with that. Like even falling asleep, I have to have the TV on because once it's quiet, my brain is going so much that I just need something in the background that I don't have to like focus on. So like I'll put on Friends or a TV show that I've seen 100 times and that I know the episodes that there's just noise in the background and I can fall asleep.
So my girlfriend, so she puts on She has the same thing, but she falls asleep to like murder mysteries and shit. And
I've done that,
I feel like it's just. I mean, I understand like falling asleep with
but
the
I could
TV
tell
on,
you
but
where
like to murder mysteries.
I could tell you where to hide a body in a heartbeat.
I mean, she loves all that stuff.
Yeah, it's I love it too. We'll talk about it.
Did
And I'll sit down.
Did you watch the Johnny Depp trial?
No, because I could not handle that trial because Amber Heard, that acting on. I mean, the fact that anybody thought that was real, the way she acted on, like, giving her testimony, I'm like, that's just another show. Like,
But like, hadn't she only been an Aquawoman?
she's been in other things.
Or, I mean, like
smaller parts, but yeah.
I mean, she's never been on stage that big.
Oh my god. I mean, here's the thing. Do I think that maybe Johnny Depp was wrong? Yeah, problems. But I also think she was wrong as well. And also listening to tapes that were put out, they were both abusive.
They were in a real
fact
shitty
that
relationship.
You tried to like call the other person out, like, no, that was dumb.
Yeah, it was aggressive.
It was, yeah. I love that the person that tried to call the first one out, well, she owes him $10 million. It's amazing. I don't, by the way, I don't condone like people beating each other up at all.
Oh no.
Or abusive relationships. I just want to throw that out there because like that's how we ended up in Yoakum, by the way. Is we lived in Arlington. My mom was married to a guy that was super abusive and he got put in jail, and he had said that if he ever got put in jail for what she did, he would kill her. And so the night before he got out of jail, my mom's best friend drove up with a U-Haul and a Suburban. We loaded everything we could get into the car and we disappeared.
Was he abusive to you?
No. He came over one time after he had beaten her up, and he laid down beside her, and she made a noise, and I literally sat up and was like, if you ever hurt my mother again, I'll kill you. And he laughed, and my mom was like, I wouldn't laugh at that. Like, he's not joking. And he, like, another time he hit her, and I chased him down with a knife. But the cops had already been called, so as I was chasing him down, they showed up.
Did you ditch the knife?
No.
Oh.
No, they whenever they arrested him, because
he
shouldn't have been there. We had a restraining order against him, but he got taken to jail, and he was trying to get me taken to jail for running after him with a knife, and they were like, sir, let me tell you about jail. Men who beat their kids or their wives get their ass kicked in jail because those guys don't get to see their kids and wives. So if you really think if you want me to tell them that you got your ass whipped by a kid, we can, or we just leave that part out and take you to jail for beating your wife.
Right.
And they didn't bother me.
Do you have any straight questions before we go? Anything you want to know?
No, I know most of the straight things. I tried it for a very long time.
You're like, I studied.
I mean, I will tell you, I'm a platinum gay. I didn't.
Okay, and so tell people. Tell people.
So
because not everybody's gonna know what that is.
I've never had sex with a woman, and I didn't come out of a vagina. I was a C-section, so I'm a platinum gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
What is it when you've never had sex with a woman but you have come out of a vagina?
Gold star.
Okay, and then what is it if you've had sex with a woman, but you had sex
copper gay? Like, what is a penny made out of?
Well, but what if you you were a C-section but you've had sex with a woman?
Probably gold star. Yeah.
Like,
no, you'd probably be like
bronze
or copper.
Yeah. Bronze. And then the bottom
bronze,
ones, like vaginas all over the place, just iron or stone, rock.
I mean, look here,
pebbles.
I have no disrespect for women. I've got best friends that are women, but vaginas, wow. I don't get them.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, if you did get them, that would be very confusing.
I mean, I understand the anatomy and what they do, but I could not help you through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a woman in the ER because I worked in the ER for 11 years, and a woman came in and she was 600 pounds, and they wanted us to put a Foley in. And
what's that?
A Foley is a catheter. It goes in your bladder to help you pee.
Okay.
Because like to get her up to go to the bathroom, it took like 4 of us. And so we were like, why don't she's
going to
get admitted? Like, let's just put a Foley in and she'll be good. And so like we spread her legs apart, and there was a woman who's like 70 years old, but she stood maybe 4'8", right? She's a very short woman. And she crawled up in there trying to get this Foley, and you could see her feet kicking. I was like, someone grab her feet. If she falls in, we'll never get her back, right?
Did you have a good time?
I had a blast. This was fun.
Yeah.
Sorry it took so long to get here.
No, it's okay.
We can do it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's going to be a lot of. I'm already planning on a lot of like rounds of conversations.
When Joe went to hang out with a gay person.
Oh
we'll do
yeah,
it
yeah,
again,
yeah.
so.
When he's not like being homophobic, fighting fires.
Ugh, my God. How many fires are tonight? Probably none.
None.
Why did he even have to be there?
You don't even have to go to work.
Like
Jeff.
his job.
Yeah. Well, man, I make everybody give me a hug when they.
Yeah.
Give me, jump in. I mean, you've already done this one. Oh yeah, I forgot. Need help up? Yeah. Hey, thanks for doing it.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.